Captain's log. Stardate S, I think. Lowercase s. It's like that. This stuff has been in the oven. It's all orange again. So you can actually, instead of chucking your old shit away, you can just pour the old crap out of your desiccant cartridge, stick it in the oven, and then put it back in the desiccant cartridge, stick it back in your car. So that'll save you about 35 quid every time you service the car, because the cost of that cartridge is a bit of a piss take, to be honest. Why no focus, you prick? So yesterday, I removed the cartridge, took the top off like a Smarties lid, poured it out on the baking tray, baked it for about 2 hours at 100 degrees centigrade, not Fahrenheit bullshit. After 2 hours, they're looking sweet again. I'm just going to fill this back up again. That'll do. Now let's go right to the top. Make sure you get the lid in around the right way. That is it. Now you just need to replace that again. Remember the rubber seal. Make sure that's okay. Right, there you go. It's the rubber seal. Sometimes it'll be in the hole in the car. Sometimes it's on the bottom of the cartridge like that. Just make sure it is there. Take a running dive and throw yourself under the car. Yeah. Now these are only plastic threads, so you don't need to crank down on it like a caveman. Just nicely tight. And that is it done. Fully serviced. Oh, what should we do now? Okay, normally if I had an error light on the dashboard, I'd go and get one of my MB style machines, plug it in, delete the codes, no problem. However, it's about £1,000, so clearly everyone's not going to have one, although you should do. So I'm going to give it a little go on my cheaper ones. I think it's about 150 quid or something, but it's a fairly standard car for the OBD, so I would say that the majority of OBD code readers should be able to delete error codes. Not necessarily from smarts for the airbags, but we'll give it a go. So we go Diagnostics, Smart, menu selection 453, Electric, Coupe. We'll select the system ourselves. SRS. Read the trouble codes. Okay, dashboard, passenger, driver's airbag, dashboard, passenger, front, side, load, driver's knee airbag. That last one, the passenger airbag deactivation switch, was when I had it unplugged when I turned the car on to move the gear stick. That's stored that code. So what I'm going to do, I've made some of these. They're, all it is just two little pins with a 2K resistor. I've covered it in hot glue just to protect it. So I'm going to jam one in there, one in there. I'm going to go back and clear the trouble codes. Okay. So turn it off. Turn it back on. Check it out. No airbag error lights. I mean, obviously that's less than ideal. A lump of hot glue is not going to do a great deal in a crash, but it's good to show that there's not more issues for example, the actual airbag controller is not damaged. So we can start the car. That will turn off when I do that. That's good. That'll turn off when. And that's because it thinks there's something in there. Plug that in now. There you go. That one disappeared because it's all plugged in. If I close the door. There you go, all the error light's gone. Now, should you be interested in getting the same as this one, it's an X tool from xtooltech.com. This one's the D7. But from looking at the website, they all seem to be all do pretty much the same thing. I think some of them do key coding and stuff like that. So we do an automatic scan. This will take a while, I think, if it completes at all. So obviously there's going to be quite a few modules, so I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, it took about 2 minutes. It's come up with it's found 15 modules. There's a few failures. Some have got code, some haven't. Now this particular unit, once you go into diagnosing one of the controllers, it doesn't seem to want to come back out again. So you've got to come back out and then go back in and scan it all. It's just a pain. So instead of actually checking to see what all these are, what I'm going to do is do a TTC report, and then it tells you the issue for every single one, although please refer to the service manual. It isn't particularly helpful. I think the best thing to do is just clear all the DTCs, and then you turn the car off, turn the car back on again, run the check again, and see what's still there. Okay, all DTCs have been deleted. Going to come out of that, exit. There, we don't want it to scan yet. Exit that. I'm going to turn the car off. Give it about 10 seconds. Turn it back on. Level of think. And scan again. I'll speed this up because it takes ages. Okay, scan is complete. The only one we've got on there is for the stereo. Now that will be because this probably only has the coding for the same stereos that are in the Renault Twingo Mark III's. So because I've got that particular stereo, it probably doesn't know how to talk to it. So Diagnostics, read the trouble codes. I'm sure it'll just say check the manual. Yeah, no it whatsoever. But we know it works. So that's it. We know everything's fine. We do just need to get headlights working and something more substantially airbag-like than a big lump of hot glue. Now this X-Tool thing is actually a little bit naughty. Instrument cluster. Smart. 453. Ignition on, but don't start the engine. Okay. Mileage adjustment. Naughty. See, it actually tells you the mileage that it read. I'm in miles, so 10361. 10361. And you can modify the mileage. Obviously you shouldn't, but you could. Also, it seems to have some tyre pressure monitor system information there as well. Europe. That's smart. Oh, let's go back. Diagnostics. And that flashes ready a couple of times. Yeah, front left, front right, rear left. Even tells you the OBD information. Tells you the part numbers for each of the sensors. Now reload. I don't really want to press that, but there's a good chance you can fit a replacement if you really need to and take shit into the system. It also says oil reset, which I'm assuming will be the service reset. So go to that, go to Europe. Smart. Manual selection. You can see it reckons it can reset the service indicator from all those. I mean, the 453 is very easy, it's literally just press and hold a button. But I know a lot of people have issues with the 450 and the 452 with the timing of the button presses. Pretty much the same as the 451, that's a bit awkward. So it could just be a case of press a button and reset it. Yeah, another thing I got was a little USB-A. It's just like a little LED plug-in in thing. Nice different colours. There's 7 in a pack, all different colours. I've got 2, 1 in each one. They're actually not as bright as they look. Not really, you don't really want a super bright light inside your car when you're driving. But when you start the car or when you turn the ignition on, it turns those on. And when you turn the car off, they will stay on for about 5 or 6 minutes and then turn off again. I mean, that actually is blind. Well, the white one's a bit brighter than the other one. But the orange one sort of suits the ambient lighting that you normally get in the car. And if you do close it, you can't actually see any of it at all. So yeah, that's all right if you fancy doing that. One of the main issues you'll have with a Smart is the interior of the windscreen fogging up as you're driving along, especially in the early mornings. So that's why you need the anti-beschlag spray. So if you have problems with schlags, that's exactly what you need. Now I speak perfect German. So on the back here it says "Das ist nie wurscht," which is put it on like a little rag of some sort, and then a little bit further down it says "Ich glaub man Schweinpfefft," and so what it means is you put it on one of these, because dealing with the windscreens are just a pain in the arse. Having to get right down there, so I've got one of these little bum scratchers, and you just spray a bit of this schlag spray on it and then give it a wipe, and apparently it stops the windscreen from fogging up, which is handy, because normally the other way to deal with it is to turn the heating on or turn the AC on, but which sort of does slowly get rid of it, But then on the electric car, you don't really want the AC on. You don't really want the heater on. So we're going to go for the anti-schlag spray. And we've got Scheiße Bratwurst mit Darm. Currywurst. Yep. So. Bit of that. It's nice and easy to get all the way down there. Oh, it smells nice as well. It smells like ananas. And just keep rubbing it in until it disappears. Just distribute it all around the windscreen. I mean, ideally clean the windscreen first. Yeah, but that one's got schlag spray on it, so ideally you need another one. You always put some cleaning spray on that first, and then give it a little clean before you deschlag the screen. Hopefully that will stop it. The other options are, people do rub cut potatoes on the inside. That seems a bit unhygienic. Or shaving foam. But you put that on there and give it a smear around and wipe it off. That does the same thing. So you don't need to purchase special schlag spray. But I'm sure there are other options on Amazon if you check it out. I'm pretty sure I probably bought this about 300 years ago. It definitely wasn't from Germany. But yeah, check out Amazon or eBay or something like that. You'll find something. If you ever have problems with the rattling in either of these areas, chances are it's a pillow cover. So just grab either a bit of cardboard or something. Where's you down there? Gone. Fuck yeah. Shrove Tuesday's return. The sequel. Right, cancel everything. I pulled a muscle in my lower back. Nothing can be done from now on. I'm staying there. I think I'm going to have to live down there for a day or so. I certainly can't get up. Well, I can bend in the middle at least. I'm still walking like a shit myself. Just got back from Smart. Got all the little plugs and nonsense. And as per usual, order short. Now, unfortunately, what I want to do now is check to see what voltage you normally get for the ambient lighting, but it's a long way down. Right, this direction. Now, as is with most things on the 453, you can activate it with DDT for all. Scan can, and let it scan the car. Okay, scanned all the relevant ECUs. All the green ones in the menu on the left are ones that it's got files for, not a problem. Red ones that it says along the bottom won't show up at all. It means it's found something but can't find a file for it. And the ones in yellow on the left hand side are ones that it's found files for but aren't quite right. You might have issues coding some of those ones. What I've done is I've put in an ambient light from a different car in there just so I can see if it's actually working or not. Obviously it's not working now. We'll go to cluster, Ecran configuration TDB, config vehicle, ambient light preset, select activated, the Einstein face, click on ambient light. I sent the code to it, still not on there. If you ever try and code something and it doesn't work, try disconnecting the battery, reconnecting the battery, because sometimes it resets everything. What the hell? Oh, gosh, right down there. Bollocks. So we're going to try disconnecting the battery for a bit. Right, we'll leave it for a minute or so, and then we'll reconnect it. There's an old saying, the luck of the draw. We need a bit of luck, so let's use a draw. Hopefully that will have brought us some luck. There you go, reconnected. Ambient lights now work. It said on there that it was fully coded. That's fine, but quite often in these cars, battery disconnect makes everything work properly. What we're going to do now is we'll disconnect this. We'll throw the multimeter on, get the voltage for it, and that way, instead of having to buy these, let me just pop that out. Instead of having to buy these, which are very simple, literally all it is a connector. There's an LED in there facing this way, and there's a little diffuser there, and that just clips in. You know, these aren't going to be cheap. Probably not ridiculously priced, but obviously not as cheap as making your own, especially when it's so easy to make your own as well. You don't really have to have a 3D printer, and the fact that it's all hidden up underneath the dashboard, you only really need to do one each side into the footwell to make it look good. So let's check the voltage, because it'll either be 5 volts or it'll be 12 volts, one of the two. Either way, we can throw in the correct resistor, and then we can use whatever LEDs we like. You could even use colour changing RGB ones if you're one of those sort of weird people. I've inquired with Smart for every single version of the 453 headlight. Every single near side one, 3 or 4 days from Germany. Every single offside one, no stock, can't get them, don't know when they're going to be in, could be months, could be years. Surely that's not legal. I thought that car manufacturers were supposed to be able to get your parts for like at least 10 years after the model was cancelled. And as they cancelled it like earlier in this year, it really should be okay until 2033, and that's not 8:30 either. Sorry, that's a joke for people in the UK, because obviously Americans don't do 24 o'clock because they ain't got a fucking clue what I'm talking about. Every single one of the ambient light connections, they all look the same. They're a very standard connector. They've only got 2 wires. One's black and white, one's pink and white on this one in particular. I would imagine that the black one is probably the earth, ground, and the other one's the voltage. So we've just got to find out what the voltage is, if it's 12 volts or 5 volts, because you could literally just push an LED straight into that. I wouldn't recommend it, of course, because even 5 volts is going to roast the LED. But nothing resistor won't sort out. Let's find some stuff. Yeah, right, I've retrieved one of the plugs. Just going to stick a pin in each of the connectors. I'm going to put my multimeter on the positive, make sure I don't touch. Multimeter on, and check. 5.3 volts. Nice and easy. So now all you have to do is 3D print some pieces that will fit on there, hold a standard 5mm LED, throw in a resistor, and you can make your own ambient lights. Right, it's about an inch that way, so 25.5 by about 15.5 that way. It clips in with these little plastic peg things, and these just overhang. So yeah, very simple to design on a 3D CAD package. Now, if you remember back to one of my previous videos, you remember that I had to glue this bonnet panel back down to the substrate layer. I used 3 different types of glue. Yeah, well, neither of them, none of them actually worked. All 3 of them have failed. So, yeah, there's not really much you can do about that. Right, new bonnet panel. But do remember, of course, that a new bonnet panel from Smart is about 80 quid in the right colour. Now, if you go on eBay and manage to find one in the right colour, it'll be 150 quid and it'll be scratched and fucked up. So stop buying shit from eBay before you check the actual price of the real parts. Anyway, I've got to go back to Smart next weekend anyway, because I'm selling this one soon. So I think it's open. Right. The person who owned it before decided it was a good idea to drive it with no mats in. And I can't see if I can think. Yeah, drove it with no mats in and damaged the carpet. And then I stupidly did something that's shown in another video, and it made it even worse. So I had to buy a new front carpet that I'll swap over. That was about 260 quid, I think, from Smart. So I've got to go and collect that next weekend, along with motor controller and some other bits. So yeah, one bonnet is it'll easily fit in my Smart van. Right, so yeah, that's it. This has actually been a bit of a co-joined weekend. This is not really got much done because there's nothing to fucking do. It's just been fanning around. I was going to take off these, so I'm sure you've noticed on your one, the brake drums just go rotten really quickly. And these ones actually aren't too bad at the moment. They're 2 years old, but you're starting to get a very small amount of rusting going on. And if you go to 5 years ago, you can see how bad they are. They're fucking terrible. So yeah, normally you just take them off and wire brush them or something and paint them, but I've got machinery here. I've got stuff, and one of the stuffs I've got is one of these. Powder coating gun. And unfortunately, I can't actually find. I had several different colours of powder. Absolutely cannot find any of them anywhere, because they're in this shit here somewhere, but I haven't seen them. So I'm going to order some black powder, I think, and yeah, obviously I'll demonstrate. It's a very simple process, and this gun wasn't particularly expensive. Once you've sprayed it, it's a very strange process. It actually fires out dry powder, which electrostatically joins onto the metal part, and then you take it and put it in an oven and you bake it for a certain amount of time, and it flows the powder into a paint. You let it set and it just goes rock hard, and it's so much better than paint is. Now the issue is you shouldn't really put the powdered parts into an oven you go cooking. So amongst my other shit, back here is, well, I say an easy bake oven, it's not easy bake, is it? 'Cause that's a child's toy, but one of those little grill things. It goes up to, the maximum temperature is actually exactly what you would need. I think it's at 200 degrees. And you put it in there, and you wait, and you look, and then as soon as it starts going glossy, I believe you leave it for like 10 minutes, and then turn the heat off, open the door, and just let it set. Let it sit there to cool down. And once it's cooled down, that's it, you take it out and you can use it. So I think that'll be next weekend's project. So until then, you lot can piss right off. Because let's be honest, probably less than 1% have actually made it to the end. It's a bit of a bizarre video, this one. It's a bit all over the place. Yeah, if you have reached the end, then clearly you're probably asleep. But yeah, hit the subscribe button, and then just look out for the next fucking video. See ya.